It's hump day, and it's day 2 of our 5 days of gift giving. So I am here today to bring you a little gift bag and tag that you can package up for some of those last minute guests that arrive that you weren't sure that were coming. Does anyone else ever have that happen? I do. So sometimes you just need to do something really quick. Don't have time to run to the store. Go to your craft room. You can make this super easy. So I'm going to just get my feet going over here, make sure that I am live, and say hello. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching. If you're watching the replay, give me a thumbs up. Watch the replay. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome and thank you. Every week on Wednesday, I do a Hump Day Lunch Break Live, and today just happens to be day 2 of our gift giving. So, again, I just need to get my page loaded here because I don't see me as being live yet. So, let's see what's all going on. Okay. I'm almost there. Okay, I see the little live button. There we go. And I'm hoping I can see comments better in this new way that I'm looking at it. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn on some lights, and we're going to get going here. Oh, I don't have that light plugged in. Hold on. I need to plug in my light. Or do I have it plugged in? No, I don't have it plugged in. Okay. So, we'll just get that plugged in real quick. Otherwise, there's some funky lighting that goes on. So how do you like my Merry and Bright sweatshirt? So I thought for sure that I had to wear some sort of Christmassy kind of thing since we're doing holiday gift giving. Now, you can use these projects for any time of the year. It doesn't have to be just during the holidays. It can be any time. All right, so get a couple things out of my way, and I need my scoreboard. Here it is. Oh, and there it is. Okay, we are set. Let me get rid of my pieces on my table here, because that will kind of give you a sneak surprise, and we're not going to give you a sneak surprise. Oh no, we're going to do this in full. All right, if you get dizzy, close your eyes, and I'm going to flip my camera down. It'll just take me a moment. I'll let you know when to open them. Okay, you can open them. See, that was nice and quick. All right, let's just make sure that my computer is lagging just a little bit. So today's cards will be featuring our Branching Out bundle. Now this just went on last chance. So I'm just going to get you the prices of it. And all right. So the bundle is $47.50. However, if you purchase the bundles and dies separately, it will be, let's see, can I add? Let me just get my calculator here. All right, so we got, oh, yep, so the bundle is $47.50, best way to get it. Love this bundle because it has some great sentiments that can be used all year long. And it has these, of course it has hello, and you know I always get a hello stamp set. All right, it has these great dies that come with it. Now, I've got several of them out because I used several on the project today. So I used 4 of these labels. I love this. And this is actually the reason I got this stamp set, is I wanted these dies. And I'm like, well, you know, I might as well get the stamp set too, because there's some really cool sentiments on here. So I'll be using that. All right, I'm also going to be using our Country Woods Designer Series paper. And yes, this is still available. Let me show you some of the patterns in it. Ooh. We'll just show you this little piece here. You can tell I use this one a lot. But there's all different patterns in here, and it is double-sided. So that's kind of a nice added feature. But there's all different colors in here. So this is a great set of Designer Series paper, and as I'm flying all over the place, to actually do, here we go, I can show a couple more here. To actually make some masculine cards with, we're actually going to be using this pattern right here. All right, so I do need 2 full sheets of Designer Series paper, and I do have those pulled out. What did I do with them? Oh my. Look at there. 1, 2. So to make our gift bag, we will need 2 of these, all right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my score tool here, and I got to take off this silly hat because I'm flopping all around. There we go. All right. So I got my score tool here. Let me get back to my Facebook page and make sure I'm all in frame here. Uh-oh, where did it go? That's not it. Hold on. When I clicked off the page, it kind of clicked off my view of everything going on. Okay. All right. So yeah, you can see it. Okay. All right. What I'm going to start with, decide which way you want your paper to go. If you have pattern paper, you can still make the project. You just got to make sure which way your bag is going. So I actually do want this on the bottom. So on our first piece here, I'm going to score this at, let's see, get my scoring tool here. I'm going to score it at 3 inches. And then 11.5. Now, when you're scoring your designer series paper, just run it multiple times. Don't press too hard because you can actually cut through your paper and you don't want to do that. So yesterday I used Traditions of Christmas paper. Well, that went out of stock. All right, so I'm just going to rotate this 1/4 of a turn. I got to think about this. Hold on. And so I'm going to cut it. I'm sorry. I used a different color paper before, so I did my 3 and 11.5 here. Okay, so I'm going to turn it 1/4. That's not going to work. Sorry, I have to think out loud here because I did not do it with. All right. So okay. So I went this way. I'm going to turn it 1/4 of a turn to my right, and I'm going to score it at 3 inches. Is that right? Yeah, 3 inches. All right. Now, my other piece of paper, I'm just going to fold this in half like this just so I can see it. Where is my... I need to be just the opposite. All right. So... just putting this here. I'm going to put this up on top just so I can do this in the right way. So what I want on this side is I want actually, when I fold this closed, I need this to be my 1/2 inch side and my 3 inch side. Okay. So I'm just going to score it just the opposite. Let's flip it around. So I said we score it at 3 inches. So now this time the bottom is at the top of my score pal here. So I'm going to score it at 3 inches and then come over to 11.5. 11.5. Oh my goodness, I can't get in the groove. And go back to 3 inches. All right. Then I'm turning this. Again, 1/4 to the right, or to my left this time, and 3 inches. Keeping in mind that this darker part is going to be the bottom of the box. The bag, I should say. All right, so let's get all this scored. And my nail just popped off. That always happens. Like if I'm in a hurry and I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, I don't let the glue set long enough on my nail and it pops off. So I'm just doing my old little trick here, grabbing some glue dots just for the video, so I'm not nailless here for the video. All right, there we go. All right. So I'm going to burnish along all these score lines that I have. Should I do this? All right. Okay, so I have that one there. I'm going to just flip it over so I can see where my bottom side is. And this one's just the opposite. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. So now what I'm going to do is on my 3x3 section here, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it this way. All right, so I got one cut there. And this one, I actually trimmed off. All right, so I have this one like this. I do have that flap right there. So I cut off the little 1/2 inch by 3 inches, and I have my other 3-inch flap here. We're going to grab our other piece, and again, we're going to cut off our little 1/2 inch strip there. Now, sometimes you can flip your paper over. It's just sometimes easier to see. And I have terrible shadows in here today. So I got that side cut, and now I need to cut this way. Yeah, my lighting is really bad in here today, so I'm having a challenge kind of seeing where I'm cutting. Okay. All right. So we have both pieces. So our 1/2 inch is on the left on this side, and our 3 inch is on the left on this side. All right. So now our next step is, let's flip this over. To give that a good press. I'm going to take my tear and tape here, and I'm going to run this along here. You want to use a really strong adhesive. Now, if you use liquid glue, that's fine. You just have to let it sit and make sure it's dry. All right, got that. Then I'm going to do this piece as well. And I've been in this bag a couple of times, and I feel like something's off. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like something's off. Yeah, I have something off. I did score it opposite of what it had to be. Ugh. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to grab a different piece of paper because I scored it the wrong way. Hold on. What I need is my 3-inch side to match to my 1/2 inch side. So hopefully I have another piece of this paper. Otherwise we'll be starting from scratch. Oh, I have an extra piece. There we go. Okay. Let's pull this board out again. And there's our bottom. Okay. So if I'm going to put this piece together, I need this to be my 3-inch side. Right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do just the opposite. So I'm going to go, I tried to be better last time when I first did it, but yeah, that didn't work. So, okay, so your first piece when you scored it, you scored along 3 inches and 11.5. This piece here, do side up. We're going to score this one 3 inches and 11.5. All right, make sure I got that right. My 3-inch side, my 3. Okay. So this is my 3-inch side here, my 11.5 inch here. So on both pieces, you'll score the same way. So 3 inches and 11.5. Second piece, 3 inches and 11.5. I forgot I had to flip it. Now, I need to have this right here be my bottom. So I'm going to rotate this to my right. I'm doing 3 inches. All right. So it's still the same thing. Your 3 inches, you want to have this dark piece, the darker, whatever you're going to have towards your bottom. So in my case, I have the darker piece. Okay. Now that I got that straightened out, sorry about that. I'll have it written in the directions correctly. So you can get my free PDF tutorial with this. And you place a $50 order at my online store. And Stampin' Up! Has 2 specials going right now. Sorry, I just want to concentrate what I'm doing here. I'll tell you about the specials in just a minute. Okay, so we have a Cyber Monday special, which is featuring our paper pumpkin for a prepaid subscription. And they also have product of the month. what is product of the month? Well, this year they're not doing celebration. They're doing product of the month. And product of the month is when you spend $75 in our online store, you will get the product of the month for $5. This month it is some blue designer series paper. And I've just sent an email out about it. I'll post a Facebook post on here. If you're on my email list, you'll have gotten that and you will be able to see what that is. I am also offering, if you spend $75, get your product of the month, I will send you a tutorial for 6 different projects at the end of the month. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm taking this 1/2-inch side and my 3-inch side, and I'm going to adhere them together, all right? So let's go ahead and peel that off. I'm just going to grab my, take a pick tool here. I'll grab that one. And I want to make sure that I'm I'm going to flip it over this way so I have it all lined up. Okay, so I'm going right to my edge. Like that, and giving it a press. All right, just like so. Now on this side I have my strip as well, so let's peel that backing off, and now I can just basically close this, line it up at the top there and along the edge. Make sure you have that lined up straight. All right, so give those 2 good presses. Now you kind of have the form of your box. All right, now we got to take care of our bottom pieces. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a piece of my Terran tape. Where did I just throw it? Here it is. And I'm just going to go like this on that side, and then I'm going to go to the other side here, do it on this side. Okay, oops, that's just going to be on the inside. We're not going to see that at all. Let's get that going. Tear those backings off. I keep putting myself off to one side, and I'm throwing myself off. All right. So I'm just going to start with the one side first. I'm going to tuck this one in. All right, it's going to be hard to explain. Let me hold this one up out of the way. All right, so here's where my adhesive is. I'm going to kind of roll this right inside. Before I press, I want to make sure that this edge and that bottom edge is lined up. Okay, then I can put my hand inside the bag and give it a press. Now notice we have this one. So we're going to take this backing off. We're going to fold that in the same way. So tuck it in. Line up your edges. I'm hoping you can see this. I need to get back to my screen here. I know it's a little confusing. So I just got to find my... There we go. Okay. So let me just show you again. So here's the inside. Let me see if I can raise this because I feel like there. Okay, so we have this inside. So we tucked this one in already. All right. Now we have adhesive here. We're going to tuck this one in. All right. Line up your edges. All right. I'm going to actually just slide this in. So I'm going to slide this corner in here. Right. I've got my edges all lined up. I'm going to go on the inside of my box, and I'm going to give that a little press. Right now, on here, I will also need, I didn't press something very well over here. Hold on. It goes together really easy. I don't know why I'm making this challenging. All right. Okay, I didn't have those 2 in quite the right way. So it's going to make a square on the bottom. So let's just go ahead and add some adhesive right on here. The adhesive is kind of the tricky part because you want to keep this box assembled. Well, it's not a box. It's a bag. It'll be a bag in a minute. If I can get my backing off. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. So now I just want to make sure it's nice and straight. I'm going to give that all across right around there. If you wanted to add some more adhesive along here, you could. I'm just going to do it like that. So now I've got my bag box. Okay, I'm just going to kind of press it in on the insides here. Not a whole lot, but when I put my things in there, I want it to stay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make the handles for this. And it'll just take me a moment here. Just need to grab out another piece of designer paper. So we used 2 pieces to make our bag here. And now I'm going to grab out another coordinating piece here to make my handles. So just got to find what piece I like to go with this. And I really want to use this blue piece. There we go. Okay. So now with this piece here, I need this to be cut at 2.5 by 12. So I need 2 2.5 by 12s. And then I'm going to score these at 3/4 of an inch. So get your dark blade out of the way and just use your light color blade. So there's my 3/4. And then I'm going to scoot this over to 1 3/4. Okay, I'm going to do that for both pieces. So 3/4. I think what I may do, since I kind of goofed up at the beginning, is do another video on this. So when you get your tutorial, you'll have a better video to see. But I'll have all the links, measurements, pictures, everything in the tutorial. Okay, I'm just going to roll those up like that. Actually, that might have been kind of fun too. Instead of the, you know what, let's do that side because that looks kind of fun. So again, these are going to be the handles to our bag. All right, now I just need some adhesive, so I'm just going to grab my CO Plus if I have it handy here. Let's see. What did I do with my CO Plus? Here we go. All right, and I'm just going to run adhesive down right here. And we're just going to roll that over, just like so. We'll take this one, do it the same way. It doesn't matter what side you put the adhesive on, whatever floats your boat. It just needs to be there. All right. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to give it kind of a curved shape. So I'm just running it through my hand just to kind of curve it a little bit. All right. Okay, I just need my handles to be curvy. All right. Next step I did is I took the smallest die from our branching out dies here, so this first one, and I ran that through my die cut machine with Secret C. Now, I need to cut these in half, so these need to measure, I'm going to go to 1 1/2, and then I'm just going to go to that next tick, which is a 1/16. All right, I'm going to cut that right in half. Okay, so I have 1 2. And I have a second one that I'm doing the same thing on. So 1 1/2 and one more tick mark over. to. This is going to give our purse a little bit of, our bag, a little bit of decoration. So now we're going to put our handles on. Now, the original one I had, it said to put them on the inside. I like it on the outside. So I'm going to have these on my outside. So what I need to do here is make sure I have this well adhered. So let's go ahead, and I do want to pull back in my... All right, well, I guess I'll use my glue dots because I don't know where my tear and tape just went. I had it. Oh, here it is. All right. So on the bottom here, make sure that your seam is facing up here. Let's cut this to be straight. All right. So I'm going to do 1, 2. I'm going to flip it around. And again, I'm going to do 1. Okay, it doesn't want to tear. If your tape is a little bit longer than your area, just flip that little adhesive over. All right. Okay, so we got this one, this one. Now, what I like to do is I like to actually mark my bag where I'm going to put my straps. So, like this, and that looks about... I'm going to mark it at 1.5. So I'm just putting a little mark here at 1.5. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. So 1.5. The reason I'm doing that is that way I know where to put my handle, right? The other thing you can do is, if you want, you can put, measure it down, you know, measure this like 1 inch. I'm just going to put it on there. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to be reckless here. It's not going to matter too much because we're going to be covering it up. So here's 1. Press it really nice. Let's take the backings off this side. Again, if your tape is a little bit longer, just roll it over like that. Okay. And now I know that's where my other edge is, so I'm going to go ahead and put on there like that. Okay. So now that we've got this side done, let's go ahead and put it on our handles here. So I'm going to flip this over because it does have a side. So you can kind of see that stitching on this side. Let's see if I can move my camera a little bit more this way. All right, the stitching right there. Here, I'll hold it a little bit lower. You can see stitching. So I'm going to flip it to the back, and I'm going to grab my tear and tape again. And I do want to make sure that I have enough tear and tape on there. So I'm actually going to go around all my edges. Let's get out our little snips here and trim that down. So yeah, to make some cute 3D projects, sometimes you gotta go a little bit putsy. So the putziest part is just putting enough adhesive down. That's all. Probably could try it a different way. Let's see if I do it a different way on this side. Let's just do this. We'll do 1. This might be easier. 2. You know what? I think I like this way better. 3. Okay. I'm going to grab those other 2 because that will be for my other side. Might as well get those all done right away. Yep. So 1. So on 3D projects, this is where I always recommend you do not skimp. You do not use cheap adhesive. Use good quality adhesive and very strong adhesive because you don't want your gift falling apart, right? Okay, there we go. All right, so let's take this and we'll peel off this backing. I feel like I may need a little bit more on this one. I should have added the adhesive like I did the other ones. That's going to be a better way. All right. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of seal right there in the middle. All right. So let's take this one and this one. So whatever die you happen to have, if you don't happen to have this set of dies and you're going to be using something else, just make sure you cut in half. All right, so we're going to put this, I'm going to put this all the way to the edge, to the top there. All right, and then I'm going to give it a nice press. I'm going to rub that just like that. I'm going to do this one. All the way to the top, just like that. And flip it over. And we need our tear and tape here. And tear and tape actually is pretty easy to tear. Okay. Got that handle done. I like to press down to make sure it's got a hold of that paper so when I lift my backings up, it doesn't come up. Again, I'm going to mark my bag with my pencil at 1.5 so I get my handles lined up. And I'll tell you a fun little mistake I did when I did my first bag. I thought I'd make my handles, let me just measure this one here. I thought I'd put my handles like this. Well, when I did that, I realized I'm not going to be able to get anything in my bag. So, hence, this is why it's this way. All right. There we go. We're going to take our other handle. I don't know what you call it, the buckle or whatever. You know how some purses have that, right? I just kind of thought it made it look a little bit more, I don't know, decorative. One. And then we're going to make a little tag for this. So you get a bag and a tag for our day 2 of gift giving. Now once you make the first 1 or 2, it gets really easy to do. I definitely would not use directional paper. It can be a little bit of a challenge. This one happened to work out okay, but I don't know that I would use directional paper. Okay, so now we've got our little bag here. So let's lift the camera up a little bit so you can see that. We have our handles here just like that. Now we need to make a cute little tag to go with it. So the tag that we're making is going to look like this. And we're going to be putting that right on the front of our bag, just like that. So I'm going to show you how to make this tag. So I've got all my pieces cut already. So from that same die set, I've got a piece of crumb cake with the largest. Then I went down to Secret Sea and then a piece of white. So let's go ahead and stamp our white here and put this off to the side. And I'm going to bring in our stamp set, our branching out stamp set. I've got my pine cone and a tree branch and another tree branch. And we're going to do those all in pecan. So now with my larger one, I went across the top, kind of like this. You can choose whichever way you want to do that. And then this one, I went here, like that. I'm going to bring in my Secret Sea next before I do my pine cones. And there is this little dot pattern here. So I kind of felt like, oh, let's put some of that on and make it be kind of like snow. All right, so I'm stamping it off, and then I'll stamp, stamp, stamp. Wrong color. Stamp it off. Stamp, stamp, stamp. And if I feel like I just need one more, I can add one more. All right, so now since we've got that out, next thing I want to do is take my sentiment in Secret C, and I'm going to stamp from our family to yours. And I need my bone folder here. It's easier for me to close my, oh, I need that out yet. Easier for me to close my stamp pads when I use my bone folder. All right, so now we've got our Mossy Meadow, and we're going to take our little pine needles here, and I'm just going to kind of stamp them anywhere. I'm looking to kind of line it up with some of those branches. Now there are a couple different ones, so you can use this one, you can use this one, you can use this one. I happen to be using this one right now. But you can switch them up to be whatever you need to be. All right. And I feel like I need a couple more right over here. So put those like that. All right. We'll close this one and we'll bring back in our pecan pie here. And we're going to stamp some of our pine cones. The reason I wanted to get my sentiment in there is so that I didn't overstamp and not have a place for my sentiment. And you can add as many pine cones as you'd like. I think that's going to be enough. So again, designer series paper, some cardstock, and one bundle have made this cute little bag. Again, use any of the designer series paper you have, the bags that you have. And now I just want my ribbon. So let's pull these two pieces in. I'm going to actually put this one up on dimensional. So I'm going to go ahead, let's adhere this to my Secret C. Just like that. I'll add a couple dimensionals behind here. And I'm also going to add dimensionals to the back of my crumb cake. And I will add a list of supplies that I used later this evening. I do have to get back to work myself. So I'm putting a little bit of my seal here at an angle. The reason I'm doing that is so that I can actually go ahead and start with my ribbon. So I'm going from corner to corner, opposite corners. I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to come back down. I'll make another loop and come back up. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure this stays in place, right? So the easiest way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take my tear and tape, and I am just going to put a little piece right back here, just like this. I am not going to take off the backing. I'm leaving it just like that. Oops. Let's go ahead and cut my ribbon here, because I went flying. Doop. And doop. Okay, all right. So now we've got our label, and we're going to take our dimensionals again, and this is where I kind of like to use my sides, because I do want to make sure that I have enough dimensional on here to keep everything in place. One here, I'll put one here, one here. Here. All right. Peel off all those backings. I'm going to leave that tear and tape backing there. All right. Now we'll lift this up and bring our bag over and simply adhere it right to the front. Take my hand inside my bag here and just give it a press so those dimensionals stick. So that is today's gift giving day 2. A little bag and a tag. So there we go. I hope this helps for your holiday gift giving, and let me know what you're going to put in your bag. I am actually making some pecan turtles. So it's a pretzel with a pecan and a Rolo, or sorry, pretzel, Rolo, pecan, and then I put sea salt on top. So I'm making a bunch of those for family members. So it's going to go in a little bag inside here with some other little treat kind of things. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Tomorrow will be day 3 of our gift giving. Can't wait to share more with you. Thank you so much.